I still remember the first moment I saw this Bronco, sitting there in the junkyard like it had been forgotten by time itself. Rust eating through the body, windows clouded with dirt, tires sinking into the ground. Most people would walk right past it, but sometimes the worst-looking cars hide the best stories. Have you ever looked at something broken and wondered what it used to be? As we start clearing years of grime, the original shape slowly comes back into view. Under all that decay, you can feel the bones of a classic machine. Every drop of water running down the panels feels like we're washing away decades of neglect. It's quiet work, patient work, the kind that asks you to slow down and really listen. Working on cars like this always takes me back to my childhood. My uncle had an old truck he refused to give up on. I used to sit in the garage for hours just watching him bring dead engines back to life. That smell of metal and oil, it stays with you. Maybe that's why this Bronco already feels familiar, like an old friend waiting to be recognized. When the disassembly begins, the real condition reveals itself. Bolts resist, parts crumble, and every piece we remove tells us how hard this road will be. The frame shows deep scars from years of rust. This is the turning point where many restorations fail. Would you have taken on a project this rough? Tell me honestly, I'd love to know in the comments. Sandblasting strips the frame back to bare truth. Sparks flash during welding as we rebuild what time tried to erase. It's slow progress, but every repaired section feels like a small victory. If you enjoy watching transformations like this, give the video a like. It really helps these stories reach more people who love cars as much as we do. Piece by piece, the engine comes together on the bench. Clean components replace worn ones. There's something deeply satisfying seeing order return from chaos. Each tightened bolt is a promise that this Bronco will breathe again. If you're new here and you enjoy restoration journeys, consider subscribing. There are many more stories like this waiting to be told. The chassis rebuild changes everything. Fresh suspension, restored structure. Suddenly, the project feels alive. You can sense momentum building. What started as a lifeless shell is slowly becoming a vehicle again. Moments like this remind me why patience is the most important tool in any workshop. Bodywork demands a different kind of care. Every dent smoothed, every surface sanded, it's almost meditative. The paint booth becomes a place of quiet transformation. When the first layers of color settle onto the metal, the Bronco looks like it's waking up from a long sleep. Installing the new interior feels personal. Fresh materials replace what time destroyed. The cabin begins to smell new again, clean and inviting. It's amazing how a space once filled with dust can feel welcoming. Can you imagine sitting in this seat now, knowing what it looked like before? Then comes the moment we've all been waiting for, the first engine start. There's a brief silence, a breath held, and suddenly the engine turns over. That deep rumble fills the space like a heartbeat returning. It's one of those sounds that never gets old. If moments like this excite you, make sure you're subscribed. You won't want to miss what comes next. As the Bronco rolls forward under its own power, the transformation feels complete. The paint shines, the details sparkle, and it's hard to believe this is the same wreck we found in the junkyard. Every hour of effort is visible in the finish. Standing back and looking at the final reveal, I can't help but feel a quiet respect for this machine. It survived years of neglect and still found its way back. Cars like this carry stories, and when we restore them, we become part of those stories. And this is only one chapter. There are countless forgotten vehicles out there, each waiting for a second chance. In our next journey, we're diving into an even more challenging rescue, a car many people would call impossible to save. If you want to see how far restoration can really go, stay with us.